Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. We'll now proceed our press conference with Police General Debold M. Sinas, Chief Philippine National Police, here at the Multipurpose Center from Brigadier General Rafael Crami, Quezon City. Joining us through Zoom are the regional directors, provincial directors, city directors, and regional mobile force battalion all over the country. Please all rise for the invocation to be delivered by Police Colonel Ebra Moksir, Deputy Director of the PNP Chaplain Service.
Let us bow our head in the sacred silence and recognize the holy presence of Almighty in our midst. Let us pray. Almighty and ever-loving God, source of all wisdom and understanding, glorify and praise you as we submit ourselves completely to your will. By the abundance of your blessing, we humbly ask you to consecrate each one of us with your inspiration and guidance. Encompass us with your wisdom, and may you grant us the grace of responsible journalism and fair news coverage based on your secret protection along with the PNP Press Corps and friends from the media. Grant that the abundance of our blessing would influence our duties and responsibilities always. Continue, Lord, to deliver us from the uncertainties of the past infecting variant of the COVID-19 pandemic. Finally, O Lord, we entrust your divine providence in the PNP organization and the leadership, and we ask further for your special blessing to our beloved CPNP, Police General Debold M. Sinas. By your grace and compassion, may you enjoin us to bolt in as one PNP team, PNP, for the betterment of the entire PNP organization and the legacy of our service. O Lord, grant all this, we ask and pray in your mighty name, forever and ever. Amen.
Please be seated. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let us hear the statement of the Chief of the Philippine National Police, Police General Debold M. Sinas.
Thank you very much, MC Jan. Thank you very much to our PIO. Thank you very much, Ronald Ulay, to the command group present and the D staff, and some in the virtual world, the nag-Zoom. I'd like to acknowledge also our friends from the media, the PNP Press Corps. Thank you for coming. This is my last press conference before I will bow out on May 8th. So I'd like to thank you sa inyo po lahat. Thank you very much for your support, for your cooperations, and your relentless questions, diba? And mga intriguing inquiries. And thank you very much. And please pardon me kung meron man akong hindi sinagot or hindi ko napagbigyan ng mga interviews. We tried our best, but because of the circumstances, please, paumanhin na lang po sa inyong lahat. So with that, we have the regular presentations for your appreciations. Then we have a short open forum for your questions. No? Memorize ko na yung questions niya. Memorize ko na rin yung sagot nyo. Diba? Sigurado ako si Maris ang tanong nito, sinong papalit? Kailan ang turnover? At saka, saan ako pupunta? Memorize ko na yun eh. Lahat na, pati yung pumunta ko sa Cebu, yun din yung tanong eh. O, diba? Midagdag na ngayon, anong legacy mo? O, diba? Ayan, pabalik-balik na yung tanong. On the last part, we'd like to show you yung inumpisahan kong project Chubby Anonymous. It's been 8 weeks already. We'd like to show na ganun at saka yung concept ganun. Para makita nyo that there are really changes sa kuha natin. So with that, welcome everybody. Thank you and mabuhay tayo. Jan, take charge.
Yes, sir, our first briefer, sir. The Directorate for Investigation Detective Management, sir.
To our beloved Chief PNP, Police General Debold Sinas, sir, members of the command group, members of the directorial staff present, the directors of the national support units present, friends from the media, other officers, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'll be showing to you the crime environment for the month of April 2021 as compared to the previous month of March 2021. For the monthly comparative period of March 2021 as against April 2021, it can be seen that index crimes decreased by 478 incidents, or 17.15%, while the non-index crimes increased by 312 incidents, or 2.04%. The decrease on index crimes is attributed to the decrease of some of the 8 focus crimes, particularly rape, robbery, theft, and physical injuries, whereas the increase in non-index crimes were due to the continuous increase in the violation of special laws and the mandatory reporting of the notifiable diseases and health events of Public Health Concern Act, or the Republic Act 11332, following the temporary reverting of the quarantine status to GCQ, or the General Community Quarantine, during April of this year. On the screen is the summary alongside its graphical representation of the 8 focus crimes for March 2021 against April 2021, in which majority of the 8 focus crimes decreased except for the crime of homicide. Both crime clearance and crime solution efficiencies for April 2021 as against the last month went down by 2.88% and 0.49% respectively. This is due to the crimes that were committed on April has just occurred, and most of these incidents are on the process of filing the appropriate charges in court. And now, I will be showing to you the crime environment for the week April 23 to 29 as compared to the previous week of April 16 to 22, 2021. For the 2-week comparative period from April 16 to 22, as against April 23, 2029, it can be observed that the index crimes decreased by 97 incidents, or 16.11%, while non-index crimes decreased by 468 incidents, or 11.62%. The decrease in index crimes is attributed to the decrease of some of the 8 focus crimes, particularly murder, homicide, and physical injuries, where the decrease in non-index crimes were due to the continuous decrease in the violation of special laws and the following easing of the quarantine restrictions from last week. On the screen is the summary alongside this graphical representation of the 8 focus crimes from April 20, or rather 16 to 22 as against April 23, 2029, in which majority of these 8 focus crimes went down except for homicide and carnapping of motor vehicles. Both crime clearance and crime solution efficiencies for April 23 to 29, as against the previous week, reduced by 6.21% and 3.53% respectively. This is understandable because crimes committed on April 23 to 26 had just recently occurred, and majority of these are for filing of cases. Please take note that the decrease in this week's crime clearance efficiency and crime solution efficiency is better compared to the last week's variance. And for the information of everyone, last week's crime clearance efficiency decreased by 6.21%, whereas the last week's crime solution efficiency decreased by 3.53%. This also shows a gradual improvement in clearing and solving crimes. On our assessment, the overall decrease in all the 8 focus crimes can be attributed to the following factors: the proactive pursuits enforced by the PNP through its various initiatives and preemptive interventions, which serve as an effective measure for majority of the focus crimes. The use of intensified checkpoints, patrols, and other interventions during the community quarantine, and further reinforced by the dynamic support of other law enforcement agencies and force multipliers, continuously reduce the number of 8 focus crimes incidents. And the enhanced managing police operations is still actively in place. Further, still as an effect of the pandemic, the restriction of physical contacts and interaction of people continuously affects the downward trend of crime incidents. Based on the data generated from our Sinas, there is an increase in homicide incidents as against the previous week, as shown on the previous slide. Regions 3, 5, 7, and 12 has shown the most number of increase in homicide incidents. However, these incidents are mostly committed through shooting, stabbing along the streets and residential areas, and often motivated by heated argument and personal grudge. The decrease in crime clearance and crime solution efficiencies for the comparative week was also noted based on the reports generated also from our Sinas. There is an increase of both index and non-index crime incidents that are currently under investigation. And majority of the crime incidents under investigation are murder. 59 out of the 159 incidents are under investigation, or 37.11%. Robbery. 33 out of the 159 incidents under investigation, or 20.75%. Theft. 23 out of the 159 incidents are under investigation, or 14.47%, and most of these non-index crimes under investigation are violations of special laws that are to be filed in court. This will improve as the week advances with the continuous conduct of investigation of these incidents and the eventual filing of cases before the prosecutor's office. That ends my presentation, sir. Thank you and good day.
Thank you very much, sir. Police Brigadier General Sterling Raymond Blanco, the Director for Investigation and Detective Management. We will now proceed, sir, to our second presentation. It's about implementation of MECQ in NCR plus bubble areas, and our presenter, the Director for Operations, Police Major General Alfred Corpus.
Thank you to our CPNP and members of the command group, my fellow chiefs of the fellow members of the directorial staff and other senior officers of the Philippine National Police, our friends from the media. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Let me proceed directly to my presentation, which is basically the result of the implementation of the MECQ for the past 2 weeks. Okay. So, next slide, please. Next. We continue to maintain 71 quarantine control points in NCR plus bubble. That is the National Capital Region, Bulacan, Cavite, Rizal, and Laguna Province. No, basically, we enforce the same guidelines, restrict the movement of the people in order to curb the COVID-19 transmission. In order to do this, we have deployed a total of 973 personnel from the 3 regions, NCRPO, PRO3, and PRO4. Specifically, next slide, please. Next slide. We have established 35 QCPs and NCRPO with a total number of 338 personnel deployed daily. Next slide. 24 QCPs in the province of Bulacan with 188 personnel deployed daily. Okay. Next slide. And 12 QCPs in the whole region of PRO4A with 398 personnel deployed daily. Okay. We also deploy law enforcement operations in these areas, with a total of 188 law enforcement checkpoints, with 1,706 personnel deployed daily in these 3 areas, conducting law enforcement operations. Tuloy-tuloy pa rin po yung ating deployment ng social distance patrollers. Yan po yung kanilang mga action features. And of course, next slide, we continue to provide security doon sa ating transport and delivery of vaccines in the whole Philippines. We are using, or we have deployed a total of 17,427 personnel to secure the transport and delivery of vaccines in different areas. At the same time, we are also securing yung mga vaccination areas. These are done by the different police stations in the whole country, from NCR down to BAR. A total of 9,744 PNP personnel is used for this purpose. We continue to provide libreng sakay program also in the NCR plus bubble. Right now, at this, as we speak, we have already accommodated 73,770 passengers who availed of the libreng sakay program of the Philippine National Police. Let me now proceed to the results of the implementation of MECQ. As of May 2, next slide, 2021, we have recorded a total of 70,603 cases for violations of minimum public health standard from the start of the implementation of MECQ. The most violated public health standard is non-wearing of face shields, with 43,401 cases, or 61.5%, followed by non-wearing of face masks with 16,969 cases, or 24%. 150 cases for violations on mass gatherings were also recorded for the same period, while 6,362 cases were violations of social or physical distancing. There were also 3,721 cases recorded for violation of Republic Act 11332, or the mandatory reporting of notifiable diseases and health events of Public Health Concern Act. In addition to these measures that we have conducted, our established QCPs have denied 34,220 individuals entry into the NCR Plus bubble. Of these individuals, 24,500 of them claimed to be uppers but cannot present documents to prove it. Likewise, the implementation of the unified curfew hours in the NCR Plus bubble recorded a total of 44,250 persons accosted. Said violators were either warned, fined, or recommended for community service. Most of these violations, representing 35,145 or 79.4%, occurred in National Capital Region. Assessment. The Department of Health has initially recorded a downtrend in COVID-19 cases in the National Capital Region, plus a weak NCR Plus, cases in the NCR Plus. A week after the implementation of ECQ until the end of the ECQ period, and a significant and continuous decrease in new COVID-19 cases were recorded in the NCR Plus until April 11, 2021. The said trend was confirmed by the independent Octa Research Group in its report on Tuesday, April 27, noting that the new COVID-19 cases in Metro Manila were on a downward trend in the past week. The group also reported that the 3,841 number of new cases in NCR per day over the past week was 20% lower than that of the previous week, and 30% lower than that the average reported weeks ago, during the peak of the most recent surge. The provinces in the NCR Plus bubble, Bulacan, Rizal, Laguna, and Cavite, have also posted negative growth rates. The NCR Plus bubble is under a modified enhanced community quarantine flex until May 14, 2021. We in the PNP believe that the remarkable gains we have achieved in the fight to contain the spread of COVID-19 is largely due to the strict observance of the minimum public health standards and other IATF guidelines by the public. The valuable cooperation and support of the public have significantly helped to control the transmission of COVID-19. We therefore would like to appeal again to the public to sustain the positive gains we have achieved in the past weeks and continue to bear with us as we all endeavor together to further bring down the COVID-19 infections by lessening our movement and by staying in our homes if we do not have any essential activities. Lastly, on Metro Manila's curfew hours, pursuant to MMDA Resolution Number 2109, Series of 2021, signed by all the Metro Manila mayors, The new curfew hours will be from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. instead of 8 to 5. This new schedule will be imposed starting May 1, 2021. Okay. Next slide. Let me also show to you the community quarantine classifications, a recommendation by IATF under IATF Resolution number 113, placing all highly urbanized cities of the National Capital Region and the municipality of Pateros, as well as the provinces of Bulacan, Cavite, Laguna, and Rizal under the modified enhanced community quarantine flex, starting May 1 until May 14, 2021. This is without prejudice to their reclassification as may be warranted in the declaration of the localized enhanced community quarantine by their respective LGUs. The other areas in the Philippines are under GCQ and MGCQ as indicated. Okay, so yan po yung pakibalik doon sa previous slide. So that is now our new community quarantine classification starting May 1 until May 14. Okay, so what basically, next slide. Basically, ang nagbago lang is that dito sa Metro Manila, next slide please. Basically, ang nagbago lang is that dito sa Metro Manila, nag-adjust yung ating unified curfew hour. It is now starting 10 p.m. until 4 a.m. in the morning. No? The rest of the bubble, as we're still awaiting kung ano yung decision ng kanilang different LGUs. But as far as the Metro Manila is concerned, it's 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. Also, ito pa yung konting pagbabago, no? From the MECQ, naging MECQ flex tayo because of this, no? 30% venue or seating capacity for personal care services, which include beauty parlors, beauty salons, nail spas, and barber shops. So, si Maris can now go to beauty parlors, can avail of the services of beauty parlors. Also, 10% venue or seating capacity for indoor dine-in services of food preparations and establishments such as commissaries, restaurants, and caterings or eateries. So previously, al fresco lang tayo, no, doon sa MECQ. Now, you can eat inside, but only 10% of the capacity of the venue capacity of that restaurant. Okay? But definitely, tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung observance of the minimum public health standard at all times. So that ends my briefing. Thank you and magandang umaga po sa ating lahat.
Thank you very much, sir. Police Major General Alfred Corpus, our Director for Operations. The next topic is about donation to Philippine National Police from April 23, 29. And our presenter, the Director for Logistics, Police Major General Angelito Casimiro.
To our Chief Philippine National Police, Police General Debold Minoria Sinas, sir. Our DCA, Police Lieutenant General Guillermo Lazar, sir. Our DCO, Police Lieutenant General Joselito Vera Cruz. Our TCDS, Police Lieutenant General Ephraim Dixon, sir. To my fellow directorial staff, peace staff, directors of NSUs, other officers, police non-commissioned officers, non-uniformed personnel, to our media friends, gentlemen, ladies, a pleasant morning to everyone. This will be the sequence of my presentation. First is the donations from April 23 to April 29 of 2021. And we would like also to highlight the blessing inauguration of the Davao Occidental Provincial Police Office. On donations, would like to thank the LGUs and other private individuals who continue to support us despite the more than 1 year of our pandemic. Hindi po sila napapagod na tumulong sa atin. So, April 23, PRO 1, PRO 11, PRO 6. April 24, PRO 1, PRO Core, PRO 11, and PRO 6. April 25, PRO Core, PRO 11, PRO 6. April 26, PRO 1, PRO 7, PRO Core, Health Service, PRO 11, and PRO 6. April 27, PRO 3, PRO 1, and PRO 7. April 27, PRO Core, PRO 11, and PRO 6. April 28, PRO 3, PRO 1, PRO 11. So this is the summary. Next slide, please. For PRO 1, we receive an estimated donation amounting to 51,935. For PRO 3, 8,641. For PRO 6, 114,300 pesos. For PRO 7, an estimate of 254,712. For PRO 11, 744,450. PRO Core, 50,470, for a total of 1,224,508. For the health service, we received a donation worth 28,000. So a total of 1,252,508. So these are the pictures and the donors from PRO 1. For PRO 3, for PRO 6, for PRO 7, for PRO 11, for PRO Core, and for the health service. Next slide, please. The blessing inauguration of the Davao Occidental Provincial Police Office. The inauguration and turnover of the PPO was held at Barangay Kidalapong, Malita, Davao Occidental, last April 30, 2021, with Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa as guest of honor and speaker. We would like to showcase this project because this is the first time that the PNP is going to turn over a whole compound made out of 14 buildings po, as shown. Usually, pag nagta-turn over and blessing, isang building lang. But for Davao Occidental, isang buong building po. Compound. Next slide. Next slide. The said event was attended also by Honorable Jason John Joyce, the Municipal Mayor of Jose Abad Santos, Honorable Virginia Kawa, the Municipal Mayor of Sarangani and Balut Island, and Honorable Carmelo Tamayo, a Board Member, Province of Davao Occidental, representing Governor Claudio Bautista, and was also attended by the DRDA of Pro 11 and staff from the Directorate for Logistics and Engineering Service. So that ends my presentation, sir, and thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, our next topic, updates on COVID-19 cases of PNP personnel and right to request. The Deputy Chief PNP Administration, Police Lieutenant General Guillermo Lorenzo Eliazar, sir.
Thank you to our Chief PNP, Police General Debold, Sinas, sir, to the other members of the PNP and members of the media. My briefing will be a shorter version of what I used to present. But just the same, just to give you the updates of our COVID-19 status. Next slide. As of last night or midnight, we have 20,509 total number of cases. The active cases actually is 1,677. Newly reported cases yesterday were 118 with 110 recoveries. Next slide. So this is the breakdown of our update. 180 new cases distributed in categories, national headquarters, NASU, NOSU, and PRO. 1,677 for the active cases, with the total confirmed cases as shown with 56 deaths. Next slide. So for the active cases reported yesterday, out of the 119, 22% is here in NCR as shown. 2 inside Camp Crame, 25 outside Camp Crame, but inside NCR. Probably all of them from NCRPO. With the rest, the 92 or 77% are the other regions, or the other geographical regions outside of Metro Manila. Next slide. So these 118 cases, 111 were newly reported cases, while 7 were infected. Next slide. So out of the 118, ito yung para makita natin na hindi naman lahat yan tested on yesterday. So ito yung distribution ng 118 cases. The date collected that resulted in positive ito mga tests are as follows. Actually, yung kahapon, 3 lang. Mas marami iba on the delay or the reports that been receiving coming from the different regions. Next slide. Now, focusing on the active cases, which is more important, right now we have a total of 1,677 cases, 25% of which is here in Metro Manila. So it used to be na nung kasagsagan natin, yung tatlong yan, talagang halos tigo 1/3 sila. Pero ito yung normal situation before the upsurge on the middle of the March na lumalaro sa 75 or 70%, itong other regions. And NCR is something like 25% to 30%. Next slide. Out of this 1,677, 51 of our personnel are confined in hospital. Ito yung sa mga private hospitals natin, and the 1,626 sa mga isolation facilities, 811 of whom are being maintained by the 811 are on facilities maintained by our PNP nationwide. Next slide. So same still for the 51 personnel confined in hospital, yan yung areas kung saan sila naka-confined. Pinakamarami sa Region 3, followed 11, and then NCR, Siam. Next slide. So for the active cases demographics, 86% among of our personnel are police non-commissioned officer. 9.5% are police commissioned officers, with 3.6 cadets, and 0.7 or 12 of them, ito yung mga, ito pala yung kadete, 12%, and the 3.6 are the NUP, which corresponds actually to the strength distribution of our PCO, PNCO, and UP, and cadets in our strength of almost 220,000. Next slide. So for by gender, 80% are male and 20% are female. Next. 47%, ito yung edad 26 to 35. 18 to 25, 8.9. 32%, 36 to 45. And 11.6% na 45 to 55 with 5 NUP personnel. Ito yung more than 56 years old, older than 56. Next slide. For the nature pork, majority are those involved in the operation. Next. For symptomatology, we can see from here that 54.5% are asymptomatic. Mild is 25.8. I just checked with the DOH record that for the general population, right now, ang asymptomatic sa atin, 1.9 or 2%. Ang mild is 94.7. So in the PNP, in the case of the PNP, mas marami sa amin ang asymptomatic kaysa dun sa mild. Next slide. And for comorbidity, 76% are with no comorbidity. Meron kasing for validation, and maliit din yung with comorbidity. Next slide. Ito, I would like to show to you since March last year, itong ating daily active cases na reported. Next slide, para makita natin ito yung since January. Nag-peak tayo no March 31. As you all know, ito yung umabot tayo ng 3,314. But since then, ito ngayon, as of yesterday, 1,677. Almost the same. Ito ngayon, dun sa mataas natin, last year, nagkaroon tayo ng first wave around July and August. Next slide. Nagdagdag tayo ngayon ito ating bagong data, which is 7-day moving average of daily reported cases. So every day, nakakuha tayo ng mga report, kaya lang, just like what the DOH has been presenting, mas maganda kasi kung moving average because there are days na delayed yung report, Sabado ko konti ang test, Sunday ko konti. So, ang average actually is kinukuha natin yung last 7 days and then we divide it to get the average. So, for example, itong May 1 niyan, ang data niyan is from April 25 to May 1 divided by 7 and so on and so forth. So, next slide, para mas makita natin since January. So, as you can see from here, yung black ngayon, yung ating moving average. Yung red na medyo static, ito yung daily actual na report na re-receive natin. Dahil with our CODA, kung ano is a bit doon, the system is being generated. So, ito makikita natin na since mag-peak tayo noon ng 270, ngayon ay 49. And we are hoping that with the effort that the PNP has done through the guidance of our CPNP, with more isolation facilities na gumagana na at gagana pa, nakahanda tayo just in case na wag naman sana mangyari magkaroon ng surge. But since yan nga is part din na naging epekto ng ating ECQ and MECQ. Next slide, please. So, in recap, 91.5% of our confirmed cases have recovered. 8.2. Ayan, dati umabot na ng halos 15% na yan. Pero medyo bumababa. Pero ang target sana natin, kagaya ng dati, na 4% lang. Next slide. And, out of the 20,000 confirmed cases, this is actually 9.4 of the population of our PNP. Medyo mataas, pero dahil nga sa nature ng trabaho natin. Ang maganda naman doon, or in a way, yung napakababa na death percentage, which sana ay wag na madagdagan pa. Next slide. So that's the graphical representation of the distribution of confirmed cases. That's all. Thank you. So thank you very much, and I believe that the Director of Health Service can give, if you have, details on our vaccination and and isolation facilities.
Thank you, sir. Our Director, Health Service, Police Brigadier General Luisito Magnayo.
Thank you. Pakilang yung continuation ng presentation kanina. Oh. Oh. For the updates on the PNP vaccination, next slide. In this presentation, it shows that we have a total of 12,146 who were vaccinated. But as of this 11 o'clock, the total number of PNP vaccinated is already 12,154 with a percentage of 5.54%. And out of the 12,745 who were registered, we have 538 registered no-go. Ito po yung mayroong mga mataas yung BP at saka yung mayroong mga complications na hindi po sila pwedeng inoculate. And out of this 12,146, we have recorded 951 who got adverse effect after the inoculation. And vaccinated by DOH is 711, and vaccinated by LGU is 7,528. Next slide. In this next slide, it shows the breakdown of those vaccinated by NHU, the NSUs, NASO, NOSUs, and PROs. Makikita nyo po dyan. Next slide. Then this slide broken down by different offices inside Camp Crame or the national headquarters. Maybe you will notice yung mga offices po dito na merong mga personnel na nabakunahan. Like for example, makita nyo po yung mga DIDM, yung IAS, yung DI. Ito po yung mga personnel natin na involved po o sabihin natin kasama po natin ng mga medical health workers and frontliners po. We strictly follow po yung ini-implement natin based po doon sa directive ng taas regarding doon sa prioritization for sa vaccination. Next slide. This is the breakdown for DINASO. Na mapapansin nyo rito, pinakamalaki po yung sa health service dahil nandiyan po halos lahat yung mga healthcare workers at yung mga frontliners po natin. Next slide. Then for DANOSU. Next slide. And the different PROs. Next. That's all for the updates on vaccination. Then our updates naman po regarding dito sa ating mga quarantine facility, especially the NCR area. Inside Camp Crame po, we have a total of bed capacity na 266. Nandyan na po yung ating Kiangan Hall, yung building po. Then yung ating tennis court, poolside, Provident, Taekwondo, and Dita. These are all extension ng ating PNPGH. Ito po yung tinatawag natin na Kiangan Emergency Treatment Facility as a whole. Out of the 266 bed capacity, ang occupied po natin right now is 88 lang po. inside Kamkrame, and outside Kamkrame for Ultra, our bed capacity is 132. Ang occupied is 35 po. For PICC, 294. Bed capacity occupied is 80. And for the NCRPO, which is a total of 819 bed capacity. Ito ay distributed po all over NCR, kasama na po yung mga districts and nice hotel. Out of the 819 bed capacity, ang occupied po natin dyan is 213. Overall, we have a total of 1,511 bed capacity within the NCR area, and only 416 are occupied. We have an available po na 1,009. So far, yun po yung ating update for quarantine facilities, especially here in NCR. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll take over for the time being. Johnny, I'd like to give way for the questions and answer kasi yung Chubby Anonymous, mahaba-haba kasi presentation yun eh. So, kung meron po kayong gustong tanungin, kung ano man, we're very ready to answer. Nandito na po lahat yung mga officers na pwedeng magtanong sa inyo. So, kung okay lang sa inyo, we reserve the last presentation, yung project Chubby Anonymous, then we'll have another comment doon, dito lang para mahibalay po natin kasi mahaba yung presentation doon, baka makalimutan nyo na yung tanong nyo. Okay? So with that, the table is now open for any questions, clarifications from any member of the group. Thank you. MC, please facilitate.
Thank you very much, sir. Now we will be entertaining questions of our friends from the media who are here today. But sir, with your permission, first let me recognize the presence of our friends. Third Ann Malonzo of Sunstar, Lloyd Kaliwan of Philippine News Agency, Rafi Santos of ABS-CBN, Lea Ilagan of UNTV, Patrick De Jesus of PTV4, Mark Maclalad of DZWB, Ann Soberano of Bombo Radio, Berhil Parba of MNI, Eunice Celerio, Filipino Mirror, Pat Mangun of TV5, Alfred Dalizon of People's Journal, Maris Umali of GMA7, Mark Ublaid of Police Files, and last but not the least, Berhil Parba of SMNI. Welcome and thank you very much for coming. With your permission, sir, we will now proceed to the Q&A. Miss Lea Ilagan volunteered to ask the first question, sir. Go ahead, Miss Lea.
Good morning, sir. Sir, ang itatanong ko, yung sinasabi mong itatanong dapat ni Maris. Sir, ano ang legacy mo as CPNP sa na panunungkulan mo, sir? At kung may gusto kang ipagpatuloy pa ng papalit sa'yo, ano yung ibibilin mo sa kanya, sir?
First, Leah, since day one, I already informed that I'm not fan of any legacy. We're just doing the continuity of the programs of the previous administrations, and lahat po ay sinusunod, lahat po ay napapatupad, at ito po ay hindi lang sa akin. Our leadership here is not based on personality, but based on established directives, guidelines, and protocols. So the legacy, wala man ako maisip na may legacy. What I could say is we have done our best that answers the challenges of the day. And I'm very happy that in spite of the big challenges, particularly the COVID-19 pandemic, we're able to give the basic police services to our community. Second, Actually, it's the incoming that will answer it. Okay? Kasi ang alam ko, wala mang kumbinagong palisiya sa existing at wala mang nakabase ng iba. This is based on the program of the different directorial staffs, different units, at saka personal staff. So, tuloy-tuloy lang yon. Now, I don't think so na I will impose. It is right for me to impose to the incoming na sundin mo to. I give it to his sound judgment and discretions on what program he will continue. Kasi ako naman in-implement ko based po sa mga nakaprogram po ng PNP. So, it's up to the incoming to check kung meron pa ba siyang hindi implement.
Sir, sinabi ni DILG Secretary Eduardo Año na nag-recommend na siya sa Pangulo last week pa ng iisang pangalan na susunod na Chief PNP. Sir, natanong ka rin po ba o hiningan ka rin ba ni DILG Secretary Eduardo Año kung sino ang ire-recommend mo?
I could not comment on the recommendation of the SILG. I did not even know na isa lang yung nirecommend niya. I think the SILG has recommended, so hindi ko alam kung saan galing yung report niyon. What I could say, who will be recommended by or who will be designated by the Chief PNP, I'm so sure that the PNP is professional enough and organized enough to follow and support the new Chief PNP. We don't have problem with that.
Sir, dati umugong din na bibigyan ka ng posisyon ng Pangulo. Sakali pong bigyan ka ng panibagong posisyon sa government, tatanggapin mo po ba?
No comment.
Okay.
Sir, last na lang po. Sir,
Sige.
update na lang po sa holocaust.
Ano?
Sir, update dun sa siyam na holocaust.
Ang update is hanggang ngayon, hinahanap pa rin namin. At ang negotiation is still ongoing, but accordingly, some of them has already transferred to other provinces in BARM and we're tracking them. Okay? So mahirap naman papasok ka ng ibang lugar, lalo na may mga hindi natin kabisado. So we're just coordinating and we have given already the copy of the warrant of arrest to the local government at saka sa army units in the area. So far, no progress pa doon.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Leah. I would like to remind our friends from the media that we also have here the different members of the directorial staff, and you can direct your questions from them. Thank you very much, Leah. And next to ask question is Miss Patricia Manguni of TV5.
Hi, sir. Same topic pa rin, sir, on your retirement. Anong plano niyo, sir, after retirement? Saan po kayo muna, and will you accept nga, if ever may, government position?
Of course, mag-ayos muna ako. Talaga yung magamit ko. I'll have just this arrest, settle everything. Kung ano man ang gusto ni Presidente at namang kanya is susundin namin. As of now, I will not comment muna, Pat, di ba? To be consistent. At saka hindi ko alam eh. Di ba? So yun lang po. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
No,
Pat,
go
do you
ahead.
have a follow-up question?
Sige, hindi. Pabigyan mo.
Yes, sir.
Go
Yes,
ahead.
sir.
Okay. Pero sir, any word naman, sir, kung sakaling ma-extend pa kayo? May ganun po bang nababalitaan kayo, sir?
Pat, wala ko nabalitaan dyan. This is new. Diba? That is new. Nag-intriga ka, amiga. Ha? Gusto mong
Curious
bukas
lang, sir.
na naman, ibabash na naman ako. I never applied for any extension. I'm happy I have done 6 months and I don't know kung saan na naman galing yan. Patay na naman tayo nito, Pat. Diba?
Okay, sir, one last...
Actually, I could not comment. Okay, that's my official statement. I could not comment on that statement because I do not know about it.
Okay, sir, one last na lang.
Yes.
Within the week ang turnover, sir?
Ha?
Within the week po ba ang change of command turnover?
Yes, because my birthday is on May 8. So we are waiting for the guidance. In fact, I'll be calling with the SILG and sa PMS if any guidelines kasi nagko-coordinate na yung staff namin and we're ready. Kung ano man, we are always ready kasi yun naman traditionally, we prepared for any eventualities in case kung anong araw ay handa po kami. Ang May 8 kasi is Saturday. So baka 3 to 7 yun ang usapan namin. But we are ready kung ano po ang direktiba po ni Presidente.
Thank you, sir.
Pat. Ikaw talaga, Pat.
Thank you, sir. Now, may I call on Ann Soberano for the next set of questions. Please, Ann.
Sir, good morning. Sir, ibang issue to sir, ibang topic. Update sir sa pagpapatrolya ng PNP Maritime Group sa West Philippine Sea, sir. Ilang watercraft po ang idineploy ng PNP Maritime Group at may report po ba sir na na-challenge yung mga watercraft ng PNP Maritime Group ng mga Chinese vessels? Thank you, sir.
Okay. Nandito Maritime Group. Is Maritime Group here? He could answer it. Maritime? Nasa Zoom ba ang Maritime? Okay.
We will check, sir.
Okay. And we have the figures. I'll give it to you. Wala akong kung ilan yung dineploy. As of now, we have already acquired the 27 high-powered and I will let the director of the logistics to state kung ano yung water assets ng maritime at how they might deploy it kasi yung sa West Philippine Sea or asking the West Philippine Sea, meron kaming troop deployment din at hindi naman lahat doon nakakonsentrate yung water asset ng maritime. Naka-distribute pa rin yan around the country. So, TDL sir, General Lito Casimiro to give us some highlights but we'll give you their pwedeng ilabas na deployment kung okay lang sa'yo. Go ahead dito.
Good morning again, sir. Sir, the high-speed tactical watercraft for Luzon and Visayas, it's 21 units po. Yung pong tatlo na punta sa Special Action Force, tapos may dalawa po na naibigay sa Zamboanga Seaborne, and meron pong 17 na naibigay po sa Maritime Group. So, part of it is deployed within Luzon and Visayas, sir. That's all, sir.
Thank you, Ann. Is it okay for that meantime?
Yes, sir. Sir, tanong ko lang din, sir, kung ano po yung plano ng PNP, sir, doon sa instruction ni SILG, sir, na tutukan yung pagkalat po ng mga pekeng Pfizer vaccine, sir. May na-monitor na po ba ang PNP na nakapasok na itong mga pekeng vaccine, sir, sa ating bansa? Thank you.
Okay. I think two personnel will answer this one. DO, sir? Is DO around? And CIDG? What is the latest development on our effort? Is CIDG here? Okay.
CIDG, sir.
CIDG is here? We have already presented the last press ko natin on the accomplishments of yung nahuhuli ng CIDG ng mga vaccines at saka yung mga fake ang nakatuon na actually ang nakatuon ngayon na ng issue is the use of ivermectin, 'di ba? If you're checking as an ivermectin, specific yung guidelines ng gobyerno natin diyan na basta yung ivermectin is still under study, no? Wala pa pong specific guidelines na i-disperse yan as a gamot pang COVID-19. Wala pa rin guidance ang DOH, so we just still follow sa DFA kung sino po yung authorized mag-distribute niyan. The last we received is that ivermectin is still for veterinary use unless otherwise may specific na compounded laboratories for human grade use. Yun po, di ba? But we could not stop on the sale of ivermectin kasi nga legal naman yan. As to the use, it's up to them. Ang bawal lang talaga niyan is yung ipa-distribute nyo, paggamit nyo sa may COVID-19 na walang doctor supervision or prescription. Yun po yung bawal doon. Baka kung ano ang effect ay hindi natin alam. Yun lang. And I think the Doctors Association, I already issued a statement regarding dyan. Okay? So whatever is the guidelines of the government, we follow. And we implemented yung saka namin, I think the CIDG could show it later on and kung ano po yung na-arrest nila on against the fake vaccine at saka yung mga illegal distribution of vaccine and result of RT-PCR.
Sir, let me recognize the presence of Director CIDG, sir. He is now here, sir.
Go ahead. Let him speak. Ano to, nandyan ba?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Bert, go ahead.
Good morning to all. As for the ivermectin latest updates, sir, the only authorized to produce are the 22 compounding laboratories to produce the human-grade ivermectin. And it is allowed if it has prescription. So if it has no prescription from a legitimate lawyer, then we cannot use it. Correction, doctor. So far, yun lang po ang ating nakuhang coordinating guidelines from FDA.
Sir,
Thank you, sir.
doon naman sir sa presence na po ng mga pekeng Pfizer vaccine, sir, na-monitor na po ba na nakapasok na rin sa bansa? May tracker team na po ba ang CIDG para tutukan itong mga pagpasok ng mga pekeng Pfizer vaccine? Thank you.
Pfizer, actually, hindi lang po yung mga fake ang ating tinututukan. Kung hindi po, kasama po dito yung mga overpricing na mga profiteering na mga individual. Kaya last several days ago, we arrested those that are selling this drug for COVID-19 na binibenta sa harapan mismo ng hospital. So, napailan po natin sila ng kaso based sa FDA laws and yung Profiteering Act.
Thank you, sir.
Meron kasi sir, follow up lang. Meron kasi sir
Last question.
instruction si Secretary Anyo na sa PNP na to look for this mga pekeng Pfizer vaccine po. Kasi nakita na po daw ito sa Mexico. Pero dito sa Pilipinas, sir, baka makapasok din, sir. So ano po yung effort ng CIDG dito, sir? At kung may, ano po yung ano ninyo dito sa mga pekeng Pfizer vaccine? Thank you, sir.
As of this time, we haven't monitored yung fake na Pfizer. Ang nahuhuli po natin is yung mga profiteering na mga yung mga hindi authorized magbenta ng mga COVID-19 medicines or drugs. Especially yung mga nagbebenta online. Bawal po yung online prescription. So, again, we would like to remind the public na kailangan yung prescription po ay galing talaga sa legitimate na doctor, hindi po yung online.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, let me call on Maris Umali for the next set of questions. Maris, please.
Sirs, good morning. Good morning. General Ferro, just to follow up on the ivermectin, you mentioned that 22 compounding laboratories have been allowed so far to distribute. How about the ivermectin pantries? What has been the directive with regards to these pantries distributing ivermectin?
Ma'am Maris, basta we stick to the FDA guidelines. Kung hindi po sila galing sa mga authorized compounding laboratories, hindi po sila allowed mag-distribute niyan. So kung yan po ay galing sa pharmacy or sa drugstore, sa ngayon po kasi wala pang human grade na ivermectin na binibenta sa mga pharmacy or drugstore. So pangalawa, yung pag hindi walang prescription ang doctors, they are not allowed. Yun po yung basic na guidelines ng FDA as of this time.
Yes, we understand that. So, meaning, if there is a specific pantry located in an area, what is your specific action towards this pantry? Do you ask? Do you stand by and ask if those ivermectin medicines that are being distributed in this particular pantry were obtained from those 22 compounding laboratories, sir? Gusto ko lang pong malaman ano yung specific na action sa mga pantries na nagsusulputan Kasi they are announcing it eh. They are announcing it that there are pantries distributing ivermectin. So, what specifically are your actions sa mga specific pantries po na ito?
Are you referring, ma'am, yung mga community pantry ba yung sinasabi?
Not community pantry, yung mga in-announce po nila Congressman Defensor, yung mga ganyan po, yung mga talagang they are talagang announcing publicly that they're going to distribute ivermectin in specific areas. Doon lang po sa specific na yun, kasi we understand that the FDA has already approved 22 compounding laboratories to distribute. Pero how do you specifically identify which ivermectin products are being distributed in pantries? So kayo po ba bilang CIDG, yung mga agents po ba ninyo ay nakaabang sa mga pantries po na ito para malaman kung nanggaling po ba ito sa compounding laboratory which have been approved by the FDA?
Okay, so first, the first step is we investigate whether they have the proper documents to prove that they are those ivermectin drugs are coming from legitimate compounding laboratories. Second, does the one that is securing those drugs have prescription from the legitimate doctors? So we go back to the guidelines of the FDA. Hindi po tayo pwedeng mamali doon kasi pag nag-violate sila ng FDA laws, then we are obliged to conduct the necessary law enforcement action.
Sir, we understand that, no? That you're going to investigate. Pero nakapag-distribute na po kasi sila ng unang batch. And then they're announcing another batch that they're going to distribute again. So does this mean na dun sa mga na-i-distribute na, wala na po doon, okay na po yun? And then yung investigation nyo will just be good for the next batch of ivermectin that will be distributed in the succeeding pantries. And also, kung halimbawa, na-distribute na yun sa mga tao na pumila dun sa pantry na nauna nang ipinamigay, of course, na-distribute na yun. So, hahabulin pa po ba ito kung isa-isa ay meron silang prescription from the doctor?
Actually, Ma'am Maris, I would like to request if we could sit down and come up with yung detalye para if we have more evidence to prove na talagang they violated, we will conduct the necessary law enforcement action. Pero before we conducted validation, yung ibang nakausap namin na barangay officials, hindi na sila nagsagawa ng pag-distribute nung binalita na bawal po talaga yung hindi autorisadong pagbibigay ng ivermectin drug. So, again, if you have more details, I would appreciate it if we could talk, ma'am, so that we could follow it up with you.
Okay, sir. Kaya lang kasi, sir, ito po ay publicly being announced. So, I don't think there's a need for us to really sit down on it and give you evidence because they are actually being announced in public that on this specific day, they're going to distribute. Sir, sige, okay lang. Ang gusto ko lang pong malaman, may habol pa po ba tayo dun sa mga nauna nang naipamigay? Kasi apparently, parang pinamimigay nila ito as a prophylaxis or as a possible prevention to get COVID. So, yung iba makakakuha, not necessarily as a medicine because they already have COVID, but as a prevention. So,
yes, ma'am, that's correct. But, we practice
so if you're saying that what is legal is there should be a prescription from the doctor, paano nyo po ito gagawin kung iisa-isahin nyo po ba yung pipila sa mga pantries? Na dapat, meron ba kayong prescription? Paano po yung sistema lang para lang po malinaw?
I'll answer it, Vic. First, your question is paano yung naibigyan na? As long as there's no more complainant, we do not know kung ano po yun kasi it was given privately sa kanila. Okay? So yun po yun. Now, kung isa-isahin namin yan, una-una, hindi namin kilala kung sino mga yon. Secondly, if somebody came out na binigyan sila ganito ng isang tao, ng isang organization ganito at may nangyari sa kanila, then they file a complaint, that's the time we act. Kasi binigay na yun eh. Di ba? So we'll be monitoring. Pangalawa, yung mga known personalities na nagbigay ng declaration sa mga Facebook account nila, ay minomonitor po natin yon. At kino-coordinate din natin sa local, kaya nga pagka kagaya ng isang prominent personality sa Quezon City, ay pinamonitor po yon sa QCPD, kung talaga bang itutuloy nila. So far, wala kaming na-monitor. At hindi naman kami magbabard sa bahay mo kung kayo lang dalawa nag-uusap doon o kayo tatlo, doon kayo binigyan ng ivermectin, hindi na po namin kayo guguluhin doon. Nakanyo ba? Because we know the limitations also. Di ba? Kung privately kayo nag-uusap doon, hindi naman namin alam at dinideclare mo lang sa Facebook mo na nabigyan ako ng ganito and you're not even complaining, then we have big challenges of how to run after them. Okay? Ganun po ang tayo natin doon, Maris. So, si IDG will come in only to investigation 1 kung flagrante masyadong distribution. Nasa kalsada or mag-opisina or ganito. Pangalawa, if somebody complains about it. Okay? Pangatlo, if they have, nagpabayad sila, nagpabenta ng mga hindi licensed at saka hindi authorized na mga distribution outlets. Other than that, hindi po namin pakialaman if they do it privately.
Pero sir, having said that, yung mga succeeding announcements ng mga succeeding pantries distributing ivermectin, will you be there to stand by and make sure that they have prescriptions for the medicine before they can get a box or probably a few pieces of it?
We will engage kung sino pa man yung latest na mag-announce. So far kasi, I'll back up with a statement of CIDG, which has also been given by NCRPO, na nung in-announce na ng presidente natin at saka ng FDA na hindi sila authorized except yung human grade ivermectin na gawa ng ay wala naman po kami nabalitaan na. Kung sino man po na bibigay nun at sabihin na gamit ng COVID yun publicly, ay talagang huhulihin at arestuhin po namin yun. Okay. Yun po ang diferensya doon.
Sir, thank you. Just last two. With regards to the vaccination, do you still have enough vaccines for your personnel? This is with regards to the vaccines for COVID-19. Do you still have enough vaccines for your personnel, considering that on a daily basis we're getting reports of deaths still in the Philippine National Police? How are we dealing with this? And in relation to that, sir, I understand that you mentioned that it is not up for you or it is not your right to impose on a project that should be continued by the person or the PNP chief who will succeed you. But do you have any recommendations as to the program that the succeeding PNP chief should follow in amidst this pandemic where a lot of policemen already have succumbed to this disease?
The same answers yung sa una. Established na po yung anti-COVID plan namin. It's been discussed with all concern of directorates na establish na po yan. So wala hindi naman kailang baguhin yun eh. And it's up to the one if he enhance it further. Kasi kanya-kanya man ang enhancement tsaka leadership style. So we don't have problems with that. Ang idea. Yung sinabi mong vaccine, we've been presenting doon sa NITF during our meeting to increase yung sa PNP. So that's why nakita nyo, we also given instructions sa tao natin na mag-coordinate sa local kasi pag may extra ang local ay binibigay na po sa PNP ang vaccine. Kaya nakita mo kanina, ang presentation ng health service, meron silang nilagay na around 5,000, 7,000 plus na ang nagbabaksin na ang LGUs na. No? Kasi kami naman, we're just waiting for the quota given by the national government to the NITF and the OH. Okay? So, we just make our recommendations kung naman kasi lahat naman tayo ay naghintay ng vaccine. Kami, we just follow the instructions at hindi naman kami rushing priorities to be the first to be vaccinated. Kung ano pong sabi ng gobyerno, we follow.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you,
sir.
Maris.
Maraming salamat, sir. Now we will have Alfred Dallison, sir, of People's Journal and People's Right. Alfred, please.
Morning, sir. 2 questions lang, sir. Sir, usually, ang preparation ng PNP for any election, usually more than a year. More than 1 year po yung preparation. Right now, sir, may we know how is the PNP preparing for the forthcoming election next year, yung campaign period, amid the current pandemic, sir?
Thank you, Fred. Yes, that is always our actions for the elections. In fact, mag-uumpisa naman yung registration of new voters. So, minomonitor po namin yan. And rest assured na nag-prepare na po kami. No? Matutukan po yan ng bagong CPNP, yung preparations namin, kasi nga ipipresent na rin yan. Sigurado ako, during the budget preparations namin, isasama na po yan doon sa mga proposal for the election funds needed next year. So naka-prepare po kami dyan. Our Directorate for Operations ay nakahanda po, at kami naman po ay meron na kaming mga experiences and templates niyan. I-improve and enhance lang namin yan based on the current situation, particularly itong COVID-19. Kaya naalala nyo, sinabi ko nga sa inyo, yung plebiscite sa Palawan was also one of our idea, pag-aralan kung anong ginawa para yun ang i-adapt para ma-enhance namin sa buong bansa, yung sa Palawan plebiscite doon. So, pag-aralan po at pag-aaralan pa rin ng mga director and staff concerned on our election plan. Rest assured that the PNP is already starting its preparations for the election, starting with the registration of the new voters.
Maraming salamat, sir.
Thank you. Fred?
Sir, kay DCA, sir. Good morning, sir. Sir, may we know yung report mo kanina about the 1,677 active cases. Ano na ang condition ng 1,677 police personnel po na yun?
Well,
As we speak, sir.
yes, as earlier presented, I believe 51 of them are in the hospital. So when we say hospital, ito yung nangangailangan ng mga sa magdagdag na atensyon. Even though here in Kamkrame, we have also here treatment facilities. So pwede natin ma-compare na meron tayo ring mga asymptomatic na naandito na mga mild cases. So what we can say that on those active cases, they are very much well taken care of, and our station health units being supervised by the health service are monitoring our patients, these personnel who are active cases, to see to it that appropriate medical support will be given to them as needed.
Thank you very much, sir. Next, we will have Lloyd Kaliwan, sir, of the Philippine News Agency. Lloyd, please.
Hello. Good morning, sir. Sir, General Sinas, update ko lang po yung sa body cam. Supposedly, dapat end of March, then by April, should start the body cam on the ground. Nagsisimula na po bang gamitin on the ground?
Thank you, Lloyd. DL, please answer the query.
The final acceptance was already signed by the CPNP, sir. So that will trigger the official use of the equipment dun sa baba. The Directorate for Operation is on the process of finishing the final protocols in the use of the video in the presentation of evidence sa korte. Kasi yun po yung challenge namin ngayon, especially sa privacy, kung paano igagamitin po. Kasi baka we might be violating some privacy ng mga tao pag ipipresent po sa korte. So, our Directorate for Operation will be finalizing the memo circular sa protocol po. ng pag-present. But the body cams are already distributed to the different major cities natin, and we will be appealing for some funds para mabigyan po lahat ng mga police station dahil nakakonsentrate lang po ito on major cities, mga city police offices and city police station, and dito po sa Metro Manila. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, CDL, sir. Sir, we have Third Ann Malonzo from Sunstar, sir.
Good morning po. Kay CIDG Director, sir. Sir, manghingi lang po sana kami ng update regarding Miss Sandra Cam, sir. Nasa hospital pa ba siya? Where was she booked? When was she booked po?
Last week when she voluntarily surrendered to us.
Ngayon, sir, nasa hospital pa po ba
Yeah,
siya?
because I think he has medical treatment underway, so hindi po natin pwedeng pigilin yung kanyang medical treatment.
Sir, meron kayong coordination with the doctor? Mga hanggang kailan
Yeah,
siya doon?
actually we send the health service doctor to coordinate with the hospital doctors na kung saan po siya naka-confine. So we'll update you as soon as yung treatment niya ay okay na at makahingi kami ng commitment order sa court.
Mga hanggang kailan, sir, yung binigay sa inyo na
Hindi ko pa nakita yung exact timeline, but it will depend on yung recovery period niya.
Thank you, sir.
Are you, one more,
Kay Chief or
follow-up
kay
question.
kung nandyan po si NCRPO. Sir, magpapa-update lang po ako dun kay Colonel Depositar, sir, ng Makati. Kasi na-dismiss na yung Dasera case. So, ano, sir, ang magiging fate ni Colonel Depositar po? Since na-approve nyo na po yung kanyang pag-relieve dun sa pwesto, pero sabi kasi ni NCRPO, malalaman lang dun sa pag na-dismiss na yung case. So, may update ba, sir, kung natanggal na ba siya sa pwesto?
Ang ano?
Si Colonel Depositar, sir, ng Makati Police.
So anong gagawin natin?
Nag-effect na po ba, sir, yung pag-approve nyo dun sa relieve niya? Following na dismissal.
Relief?
Yes, sir.
Well, we are, my statement is, was referred to NCRPO for his relief. It's up to them. Wala pang binigay na recommendation si RD NCRPO. I will talk to him, amiga, and try to check kung ano ng status.
Okay, sir. Thank you po.
So, okay.
Maraming salamat, sir. Sir, next is Borhil Parba of Sunshine Radio, SMNI.
Chief, good morning. And, kumusta po yung assessment ninyo sa hanay ng PNP sa ilalim ng inyong administrasyon po?
Assessment on hanay sa PNP for?
Kumusta po yung assessment ninyo sa mga kapulisan natin sa ilalim ng inyong administrasyon po, sir?
Hindi ba dapat reverse? Sila yung mag-assess of how's my leadership when I'm about to retire. Of course, what I could say that the PNP are doing fine. All the personnel are following orders. And of course, again, sabihin ko sa inyo, we are a big organizations. We are 220 strong and spread out the whole country. So once in a while, may mga pasaway, but we are addressing it properly. We discipline our own people, we entrap them if they have committed offenses, and we charge them and dismiss them. And so far, ang mga pulis naman ay sumusunod. Mangilan-ngilan na lang po yan. And I believe that all the senior officers, you could ask them, we give them good examples, we set up good examples for them to follow. No? Starting with, again, sabihin ko, no take, na ganito, etc., bawal lubog, bawal na lahat. So lahat naman po yan ay pabalik-balik na in-issue namin. And I'm very happy that everybody follow instructions. But again, there are always exemptions to the rule. May mga pasaway. Iyon yung pong hinahabol namin. And we could assure you that we are checking on our people. That's why we created kung ano-anong mga inspecting team to check sa kanila, and we place right people in the right positions. Okay? So I'm happy on that.
Sir, one last question.
Go ahead.
Sa kampanya naman natin sa illegal na droga, so far nakikita po natin na naging matagumpay po tayo sa kampanya kontra illegal na droga. So may hinahabol po ba tayo o may target tayo na grupo or tao particularly sa NCR? And then ano po yung aasahan pa ng mamamayan sa kampanya kontra illegal na droga, sir? Thank you.
Yung first question mo, no comment kami, baka malaman nila. Yung second questions nyo, the PNP actually is coordinating with PDEA because we believe na hindi naman puro arrest, diba? We have already arrived to that agreement with the PDEA. Now we are also on the barangay clearing, on the health issues, on the rehabilitations, diba? Kami rin, sabi ko nga sa inyo, we also do the preventive aspect. Meron na po ang DPCR namin, headed by General Rodel Sermonia. I-revive po namin yung mga Speakers Bureau ng anti-drug use and abuse. No? So meron na po tayo niyan. So at least all the regions and the districts sa NCR ay may mga Speakers Bureau na po. No? Because we believe on the preventive aspects and the rehabilitation aspect. Kasi kung ma-prevent ka natin ang use at saka yung iba nagmahid, ay baka mabawas-bawas yan yung yung apprehensions natin. No? But just the same, since police kami, at yun yung main job and function namin, is to arrest violators, doon kami main focus namin. But we are also very supportive on the preventive and rehabilitations aspect being spearheaded by PDEA.
Thank you, sir.
Maraming salamat, sir. Last but not the least, we have Mark Makalalad, sir, of Debold.
Good morning po. Question ko po kay Sir Ferro po, sa ADG. Sir, yung going back dun sa ivermectin issue, kay Congressman Defensor at Congressman Marcolecta, based on your knowledge, meron po ba silang paglabag dun sa pamamahagi po ng ivermectin?
Again, ulitin ko po, ang ating law enforcement action will depend on the evidence. No? So we send our investigators to validate kung nagbigay. When we went to the barangay, sabi ng barangay officials, tinapon daw nila yung mga, kasi natakot sila, baka hulihin sila. And wala talaga kaming nakita na nagdi-distribute sila. So, in flagrante delicto man kasi ang pwede lang natin gawin kung sila mismo nagbibigay. Doon lang natin sila pwedeng arestuhin. Pero as to the other issues na sa mga FB posting, mahirapan po tayong i-prove yung kanilang kung wala talaga tayong direktang nakitang paglabag sa batas. Although yun ay kino-ordinate natin sa ACG para naman yung anti-cybercrime group ay mag-validate kung yun po ay may violate sila sa FDA guidelines.
Pero meron po silang binigay na form dun sa mga tatanggap ng gamot na hindi pwedeng ihabla o kasuhan po yung mga nagreseta sa kanila sakaling may epekto ito sa kanila. Yung po ba ay pinapayagan?
Actually, babalik ulit tayo dun sa basic guidelines. Una is yung dapat galing yan sa compounding laboratories. Pangalawa, prescription sa doktor. Ngayon, kung walang prescription yung doktor, talagang violation po yun.
So yung sir, yung waiver pwede yun? Na hindi pwedeng maghabol dun sa mga organizer?
Again, balik ulit tayo dun sa basic guidelines. Ngayon, kung ang ginawa nila ay walang prescription, bawal po talaga yun. Ngayon, kung may yung waiver is a different thing. Dapat prescription ng doktor ang kailangan.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Any last questions from our friends? Sir, we have two more, sir.
Sige, pagbigyan natin. Last
Yes, sir.
ko na to Di
Yes,
ba?
sir.
Sige. Oo.
We will have first
Go ahead, Pat.
Mamuni,
Go
sir.
ahead, Pat.
Hi, sir. Baka lang po may update tayo, sir. Medyo sunod-sunod po kasi yung mga missing persons na nai-report from Jensan, meron sa Cavite and Las Piñas. May update ba tayo doon, sir? Ano pong nangyayari sa investigation natin, sir?
Saan?
Meron po, sir, recently reported na sunod-sunod na missing persons sa
Missing person.
Jensan, Cavite, and Las Piñas. Meron ba tayong update, sir?
Dio, sir, meron ba tayo noon? Missing person?
I have to check on that, Patricia. Kasi parang,
Wala pa.
ano yan, parang, are you suspecting that connected itong mga to? Connected ang
Not
one
necessarily naman,
incident
sir.
to another incident?
Not necessarily naman, sir, pero medyo sunod-sunod lang, sir. Nagkataon lang po ba o ano? But, sir, sige.
I will just check on this. Thank you. I'll give you feedback, ha?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pat, DIDM, Sterling, sir. Sterling, pakikuha na lang kay Pat kung meron tayong latest statistics for missing person. So siguro the last 2 months, Pat, if it's okay sa'yo.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Sige, please coordinate with her. Then ibigay mo lang kung ano yung mga missing persons at saka yung mga latest para po ma-update siya for your story.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Pat, if you're already
Yes, sir.
amenable
We'll
doon.
do that, sir.
Sige.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat, sir. We have Ann Soberano, sir.
Sir, hindi po ito question, sir, pero tatanungin kita, sir, kung ano po yung mensahe niyo, sir. Magre-retire na po kayo sa Sabado. Ano po yung mensahe niyo sa inyong mga kapulisan, sir? At ano po yung maibibigay niyong payo sa kanila, sir? Yung mga lessons learned at ano po yung maibibigay niyo sa kanila, General? Salamat.
First, Ann, gracias, amiga. Okay. So far, I have already sent my thank you sa kanila, sa lahat. As to the lesson learned, alam na po nila yon. Tapos mamaya, on my last statement, nandito po, nandito, mga 4 pages. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yan, babasahin ko para sa tanong mo. Pwede? So mamaya, after the Project Chubby Anonymous presentation. Okay? Sige.
Gracias, sir.
Sige, thank you, Ann. Sino pa? Idol, meron ka pa, Idol? This is my last press con. Abusuhin nyo na. Di ba?
Ito na lang, sir, isa.
Yes.
Sir, kaliwat kanan yung community pantries ngayon, sir, nationwide na. PNP, AFP po ay gumagawa na rin ng community pantries, sir. Sir, ang tanong ko, may na-monitor po ba ang intelligence group na nakapag-penetrate po talaga ang mga NPA dito sa mga community pantries, sir? Salamat.
First, no comment kami doon sa sinabi mo. Kasi hindi naman talaga namin monitor sila. Pangalawa, we don't refer that to the PNP community pantries. It's not. Yung pong tulong po namin, yung bayanihan at saka ayuda, ay tuloy-tuloy po yun. So whatever yung name niya, whether ano to, we don't refer it to the pantry, no? Kasi hindi naman talaga yung aspeto. Ang PNP po ay tuloy-tuloy po ang relief operations, assistance at ayuda po sa mga kababayan natin naghirap. It might have different approaches, but the same po yun. So rest assured that hindi po kami nag-i-stop na kung ano ba dyan sa sinasabi nila sa mga taong nagbibigay. Bagkus ay ini-encourage pa nga natin yung mga private resident at publiko na kung mag-share sila, ay i-share nila. Iyon lang ay sumunod ka sa palisiya. Kasi alam mo naman, may mga established protocols po ang mga LGUs. Kasi napansin nyo, yung isang nag-announce sa FB niya, tapos haba ang pila, tapos kami rin naman napulaan pulis, hindi nag-coordinate sa local, hindi nagkakuhan. Kaya medyo naiiririta rin yung mga LGUs natin. So they use some group ganun, tapos ang nagdating is 5,000, ang pinabigay 500 lang. So how could we assure sa ganun? So maraming pumila. So kami naman ang nasisita doon if you're not doing our job. Kaya ganun po yon. So kung sino po yung mamibigay, ikaw, kasi medyo marami ka namang kabuhayan, okay lang kami mamigay ka. Diba? Just follow the instructions. Okay? So with that, meron pa ba? Wala na? Okay? So just mag-rearrange na tayo 5 minutes. Just see, because itong Chubby Anonymous Project po, no, na the name outward is Anonymous, ay maganda po ang resulta. We have targeted originally 20 obese, may obese 4 ba? Wala, no? Hanggang obese 3 lang, di ba? Talagang sobrang laki, mas malaki pa kay Lloyd, di ba? Di ba? Mas malaki pa kay Lloyd, no? Sobrang laki kay Lloyd, ay talagang nag-reduce. In 4 weeks' time, 8 weeks' time, the result is noticeable. What's good on this is that this PNP, ito yung target namin, from 20, naging 80. Nag-volunteer po yung iba to join. Much of their exercises ay online. Tapos minomonitor ang, alam niyo yung the word chubby anonymous, parang alcoholic anonymous, yung sila nag-uusap of how to encourage others, ganon. Positive po ang aspeto. Ang maganda nito kasi, we never remove them in their assignments. Doon pa rin sila sa assignment nila. We just find time for them to exercise and to monitor their diet and to change their, So without much ado, let me present to you the outcome of the 8 weeks Project Chubby Anonymous. And rest assured, lahat po ito ay pagpatuloy natin. Thank you and mabuhay tayong lahat. To the command group na dito sa harap, book excuse lang tayo para makita nila.
Thank you very much, sir.
Hindi, i-rearrange na lang natin.